Hello everyone, I'm Carthu, and welcome back to the Dojo. Before this video begins, I just want to give you guys a big apology, just in case you didn't see the community tab post about it. By the way, make sure you're checking the community tab for any notifications I give about the scheduling of videos. The BROLY, What If BROLY Was Sent to Earth series, that is meant to come out on Wednesdays. Unfortunately, this week I got a bit delayed. I actually had extra shifts at work that I normally don't have, and all of these things factored together to making this not possible, at least not to come out in any sort of good quality yesterday. So today is when it's coming out. The other thing I'd like to mention is that if you did see the community post, then you know that the thumbnail was a bit different. And that's because originally this was supposed to go all the way to the Buu Saga, and finish the Buu Saga, that is, and finish all of Z, and that's really what I wanted to do. However, this script with just Cell and the Android Saga is over 50% longer than the other two scripts for the first two parts. So I realized this would be far too long, and then I definitely wouldn't get it out to you even for Thursday, and I decided to chop that part out, and we'll save that for next week. Maybe we'll do Buu and something else in Super if time allows, or we actually feel it necessary in terms of time. But with that being said, if you have missed a part of this series, whether that be part 1 or part 2, please check out the playlist, which I will link right now above in the I button. You can watch all 3 parts in a row to make this viewing experience a bit better for you. But let's jump into the video for those of you who don't have to do that with the video intro. Broly thanks Trunks for saving him, and Trunks tells Broly that it was fine, no big deal at all, but asks where Goku is, and who this person is in front of him. Broly says that, "I'm Goku." This only further confuses Trunks. Now Trunks asks what has happened, so Broly tells him literally everything. Broly starts at the very beginning of his story, of his father and what he did, and that which he learned from Vegeta about his heritage, all leading up to the fight with Frieza and what just occurred before Trunks arrived. Trunks realizes something terrifying after hearing that story: Vegeta is dead, so he can't be born. So he tells Broly that they need the Dragon Balls immediately. But Broly already told him that the Dragon Balls are stone. Trunks wasn't referring to those though. He meant the Namekian Dragon Balls, so Trunks further explains what Kami and Piccolo were, as well as there should be more Dragon Balls on a planet called Namek. Then Roshi speaks directly into their minds, telling them that Mr. Popo has something to show them for this journey. Popo brings them to the nameless Namekian spaceship, the nameless Namekian who was once the one who was fused of Kami and Piccolo, originally. Seeing this, Trunks knows exactly what they need to do. They get Bulma and Dr. Briefs and Frieza's soldier ships all together, and using the coordinates in the Namekian spaceship and the Frieza Force's advanced technology, Dr. Briefs and Bulma begin working on a spaceship that will take them about a month to build. Trunks tells Broly that they should train for the next month while they wait, and during this training, Trunks explains who he is, why he's here, and the threat of the androids that's soon to come. Trunks tells Broly that he is nowhere near the strength of the androids, and he needs to learn how to turn Super Saiyan. Trunks says he'll stay in this timeline for the 3-year period to help him train. He does that for 2 reasons though. 1, to ensure that they are ready for the threat, and 2, because he doesn't know how the timelines work yet, and he believes there's a potential that his future may no longer exist because of how altered this past is that he's in. So a month passes fairly quickly. Broly is far stronger than he was before, but is not able to turn Super Saiyan still. Their trip to Namek takes only 6 days, as it did for Goku originally, and the 2 of them train in gravity as they go along. When the 2 arrive on Namek, they are greeted by Namekians. Trunks tells them of their plight, and so the Namekians send them to the Grand Elder. Once he reads Trunks' mind and understands what's going on, he agrees to let them use the Dragon Ball for their 3 wishes. The first wish will be, of course, to resurrect Vegeta, second, resurrect Chi-Chi, and the third is Trunks' wish to know where Dr. Gero's lab is. Trunks realized that he could take out the androids before they become an issue this way, and so Kurunga grants all 3 wishes and the balls scatter. Trunks makes a note of the lab location, and the pair head back to Earth, another 6-day trip, again training the whole time. When they arrive on Earth, they are greeted by Vegeta and Chi-Chi. The two of them have been training in the gravity room together for the 6 days that they were alive, realizing that they needed to do something to prepare for the future threat at hand. Trunks makes it clear that none of them are ready for the androids right now, and potentially 3 years may not make a difference, but they can destroy the androids preemptively. Broly and Chi-Chi agree with this plan, but Vegeta is a bit more hesitant to accept. However, he ultimately agrees to it, not wanting to risk the newfound life he has on Earth that he is truly enjoying. The four set out to destroy Dr. Gero's lab, but when they arrive, they blast the door down and see something nightmarish. A giant bugman stands before them, and he is swallowing a teenage boy and girl with his tail. "You're too late," he says. "Perfect Cell is born." But he is far stronger than in canon, perhaps even stronger than Super Perfect Cell. The four of them can't move. His power is too ridiculous. It is flooding their senses. "This won't do at all. You are far too weak to entertain me. 10 days, yes. I will hold a tournament for the fate of your planet. The same rules as your Tenkaichi Budokai. If you win, the Earth is spared. But when I win, this planet is dust." The four still couldn't move. They couldn't even respond. They could only listen. "Be grateful you have 10 days to muster up whatever strength you can. I'm usually very impatient." And with that, Cell flies off to prepare for the Cell Games. Immediately after he leaves, Roshi's voice fills their minds. He tells them to get to the lookout right now. They fly as quickly as they can. When they get there, Roshi tells them the Room of Spirit and Time has been improved. It now can hold more than 2 people, and you may use it for more than 120 real-world hours, or 5 years, in the new chamber. The years spent in the old chamber will not carry over to this one. And as a final bonus, one's body will no longer age while they are inside. The only issue is food, but Vegeta has it covered. With Bulma's help, they have over 1,000 chefs brought to the lookout who are constantly cooking for the next 5 days straight. With everything ready, the four train for 5 years in the chamber. When they emerge, they are not even comparable to the people they were when they went in. Vegeta and Trunks are now maintaining Super Saiyan. They are not in base, they are walking around casually in the legendary form, but Broly is notably in base form, and Chi-Chi is, well, a human. As a final piece of advice, the wise old Master Roshi tells the four to eat a senzu bean each and rest for the remaining 5 days. And so they do. 5 short days of peace come and go. The day of the Cell Games is finally here. With no televising of this event, Mr. Satan is nowhere to be found, no camera crews, no civilians to potentially be harmed. The first to challenge Cell is Trunks. And when Trunks powers up, he impresses Cell. Cell remarks that perhaps 10 days was enough time. The fight seems even at first, but Cell is quickly bored and begins to release more of his true power, knocking Trunks out almost immediately afterwards. Vegeta steps in next. He has trained hard, learning Super Saiyan in the time he was in the chamber, and surpassing Trunks in the process. Vegeta seems like he has the edge on Cell for a little bit, but Cell lets out a hearty laugh. "You will never beat me." Vegeta goes to the edge of the arena, and he points a final flash directly at Cell. He launches it, but Cell just shouts at the attack and breaks it apart into nothing. Vegeta's pride turned to dust. Cell charges at Vegeta and punches him in the stomach, knocking him out instantly. Cell tosses him out of the arena, and Chi-Chi is about to enter, but Cell yells, "No more games! I want to fight him!" Concerned, Chi-Chi looks at Broly, and he nods. She steps down, and Broly enters the ring. "Well, turn Super Saiyan already. Let's not waste time." Broly can barely utter the words, but he says, "I can't." The truth was revealed. Broly couldn't learn Super Saiyan in the time chamber. 5 years of attempting, and he couldn't get even close. The closest he ever got was against Frieza, but it never even happened then, and it's never happened that close since. Cell was visibly enraged, more furious than you could ever believe. Cell wanted to fight Broly more than anyone here, but he knew with the rage form alone, he'd be weaker than even Trunks, perhaps even weaker than Chi-Chi with Kaioken times 20. Is this why she stepped in first?
"Let me tell you something, Goku,"
Cell said to Broly. Don't forget his name is Goku.
"I am made of the DNA of you, Chi-Chi, Vegeta, and Frieza. By absorbing the androids, I was able to unlock my full potential. But their power was nothing. Vegeta, Chi-Chi, Frieza were nothing compared to the power you provided me. You are a disgrace to your own DNA."
Broly listened to Cell, but he couldn't believe what he was saying. None of it made sense to him. He can't even turn Super Saiyan. How can he be the majority of Cell's power? Thankfully, Cell's speech gave Chi-Chi enough time to give senzu beans to Trunks and Vegeta. Cell quickly caught on to what was going on and he laughed again. He wouldn't let them feel fine while he was so enraged. So he made 3 Cell Juniors, more than enough to take care of the others.
"Kill them."
Broly watched as his friends struggled to fight Cell Juniors.
"I'll have to make sure to destroy Namek after they die. No chance for you to revive them then. Not like you're going to live past this fight anyway."
With that, Broly turned into his rage form and attacked Cell. His attacks were doing nothing to Cell though, and Cell began to take out his rage on Broly. Every attack was as painful as possible without knocking him out, and barely conscious, Broly was thrown into the center of the arena. The Cell Juniors knocked out the other 3 and piled them on top. Cell flew to the sky and charged a Kamehameha.
"Say goodbye to your pathetic planet!"
And with that, he launched his attack. Cell's shout woke Broly up. He opened his eyes and saw the pile of bodies on him. He broke out as quickly as possible and looked up, and fired a Kamehameha in return.
"That's not nearly enough!"
Cell shouted back, but Broly held his ground as best he could. But his beam was beginning to get overpowered. He looked down towards his friend and noticed the Capsule Corp logo on Trunks' jacket. That's how this all began. Grandpa Gohan, Bulma, Master Roshi, Vegeta, Trunks, Chi-Chi. Snap. Broly's pupils burst. His hair turned yellow, and his blast grew to a massive size. He lets out a shout from the bottom of his soul, and he pushed forward with all of his might. Cell was slowly being overpowered, but he asked his Cell Juniors to join in with the blast with him. They fired back on all cylinders, and they slightly overpowered Broly's blast. But then, more beams joined. Chi-Chi, Trunks, Vegeta. They all let out their most powerful attack against Cell. And that was enough. Cell was defeated, and Broly and the other 3 collapsed onto the ground. The 4 of them were victorious. But that's where we'll leave it off for today, guys. I am guaranteeing this time, hold me to it, Wednesday, the next part will actually be out. I am already working on it to make sure that that happens. Thanks for watching. Leave your opinions, counterpoints in the comments down below. Hit subscribe and that notification bell if you want to stay up to date on the channel. Check out the Patreon and the t-shirt if you really want to support me. And don't forget to click those 2 videos above to go see some other great content on the channel. See ya!